Well, I'm very pleased to be joined now on the programme by Alex Gandler. He's the deputy spokesperson at the Israeli Ministry of Foreign Affairs. He joins us live from Jerusalem. Good afternoon to you, sir. Thanks for finding the time to talk to us today.
Hello, good afternoon. Thank you.
Citizens of some 20 countries are missing right now, feared captive in Gaza. In your capacity at the Foreign Ministry, are you in touch with those governments? What can you tell us about the efforts to rescue those hostages, Israeli and foreign?
Right. So I can tell you that the state of Israel is currently in the middle of a war. We are fighting heavily on the border with Gaza. Israeli aircraft are currently in operations above the city and the Strip of Gaza. We are dealing with some issues regarding those kidnapped. There is a big center that was established in Israel regarding the kidnapped and the missing people from around the Gaza Strip. But currently, because of the conditions of war, it is quite hard to find any new information, especially because we don't have any communications with the Gaza Strip.
Absolutely, but perhaps you may be able to shed some clarity as to the role that the Gulf state of Qatar might be playing, because it said earlier this week it was trying to negotiate to free hostages, particularly women and children who are in Gaza. Is the Israeli Foreign Ministry part of those negotiations? Are you willing to take part in those negotiations?
Unfortunately, I will not be able to comment on that. That is very sensitive at the moment regarding the situation for the hostages themselves, so I will not be commenting on it.
OK, well, let's move on then. And as we're talking, we're showing the latest images we have from Gaza. Bombardments there ongoing. The Israeli Minister of Defense has said he's imposed a total siege on the enclave. Palestinians, we know, don't have anywhere safe to go right now, do they? So is this collective punishment of the people of Gaza?
This is absolutely not collective punishment of the people of Gaza. The state of war that was declared by Hamas in the morning of the 7th of October, several days ago, where now confirmed 1,200 Israeli citizens were murdered, in addition to several thousands injured and several hundreds kidnapped, was imposed on the state of Israel. We are currently conducting operations in the Gaza Strip in order to stop Hamas, in order to stop Hamas's military operations. This is not a regular terrorist organization, as you can imagine, from the 70s in Europe, where you have a few people hiding in a flat. We're talking about an organized army with command centers, divisions, command posts, a working government in place. This is currently a war operation between the state of Israel and the Hamas Palestinian terrorist organization.
You talk about the need to stop Hamas. I suppose the problem is Israel has obviously been trying to stop Hamas before. There have been multiple bombing campaigns on Gaza. What evidence do you have, or why do you have hope that this one will work, particularly given that you have over 100 hostages trapped there in the Gaza Strip?
Well, I'm trying to think with you whether you have an idea of how this works. The situation here in the Middle East, and especially in Israel, things that were imposed upon the state of Israel. We did not intend to start a war on October 7th. This imposed war on us that started with at least, and I'm talking from unconfirmed numbers because we're still trying to clear the surrounding Gaza area, at least 1,500 Palestinian Hamas terrorists invaded Israel in order to kill Israeli citizens.
The death toll in Israel is shocking, and we will speak to it. Go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
I want to finish my point. By doing so, the Hamas, backed by other states around the region, has imposed this war upon Israel. We have the duty to protect our citizens. The state of Israel, each and every person in the government of the state of Israel, starting with the Prime Minister to the foot soldier, has the right and the duty to protect the citizens.
Your
And
message
so-
is clear, but let me ask you this. When I speak to a Palestinian representative later on today, I will ask him whether he condemns what Hamas did over the weekend. Let me ask you if you condemn this. There are reports today that 4 paramedics have been killed in an airstrike in Gaza today. We know that over half of the people who live in Gaza, or nearly half of them, are children, and we know that they're trapped. How do you justify that?
Every loss of life is regrettable. I know the IDF is trying to conduct its operations in the most precise way possible. The IDF is attacking the IDF, and the Israeli Air Force, the IAF, are attacking Hamas command posts. This is not a retaliation, as some people might suggest. We're talking about precise attacks on military targets that, unfortunately, because Hamas is a terrorist organization, are located inside of civilian buildings sometimes, or right next to them. We know of mosques that have been filled with terrorist infrastructure, such as command posts, as weapon storages, and so on. The loss of life, as you can imagine, especially children, is not only regrettable, it is terrible. Always. Each picture of every child killed is horrific, not only to the parents, but for every human being looking at that picture. And I implore you to look at the pictures of all children that have been killed. We're in a state of shock here in the state of Israel because of what we have seen, because of the brutality that has been forced upon us.
There are terrible images.
This is something that has not been seen since the Middle Ages.
Absolutely. There are terrible images on both sides, sir. Terrible images indeed. And earlier in the programme, we did play a report looking at what appears to have happened in Kfar Azar, that kibbutz near the frontier with Gaza. Devastating scenes there indeed, as you say. There is also, though, anger there, isn't there? Survivors of that Hamas attack say, why did it take so long for Israeli soldiers to reach us? What are your thoughts on that? Do we know if an investigation has begun into the failings on that end?
I assure there will be an investigation. I'm sure there will be, the same way we have done after every war that we unfortunately have fought. This was a surprise. We were surprised. People outside of Israel probably did not know the significance of that specific date. It is one day past the 50-year mark to the Yom Kippur War, but is also the last day of the holiday of Sukkot and a Saturday, a Shabbat morning. Israelis are relaxed in this time of year, or are trying to relax in these holidays, and Hamas caught us by surprise. It is hard to investigate at the moment. As I said, this is not a limited operation, as we've seen in previous engagements.
Israel is in a state of war, indeed.
Exactly.
We've just got an alert here in the newsroom from the Energy Office in Gaza. They say their final operating power station has stopped working this afternoon as you and I are speaking on air. Earlier you said Israel was not engaged in collective punishment of the people of Gaza. Can I get your reaction to what I've just told you?
I don't have that information, unfortunately. So,
well, we know that power was very limited indeed, even before we went on air. Is Israel targeting the power infrastructure of the Gaza Strip?
I truly cannot respond to that without having any concrete information. It will be extremely unprofessional of me.
All right, we'll leave it there, but I want to thank you for your time. Alex Gandler talking to us. He's the deputy spokesperson at the Israeli Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Thanks very much indeed.